girls, it's the westward migration. We have won our independence and we are our own country now, the United States of America. And most of the population is on the East Coast, the 13 colonies. So now people are moving west towards Oregon, California, but they have to cross those many, many, many miles of land. There's no gas stations, there's no restaurants, there's no roads. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. I mean, I just think about how tough those people are, how determined they were to make the best of their life. So, people were leaving the East Coast and traveling out west to open up a business, perhaps, to get land for themselves so they could start a home and a family. And some people were going for the gold rush. So the way they got out there was by covered wagon. And that was not easy because I just want you to think about you living here in Colorado. Covered wagons, you think, oh, I would just ride in a covered wagon. No, most kids, especially your age, would be walking the 10 miles a day. They typically travel 10 miles a day, and you would be walking 10 miles through the, the landscape because it could be through the desert, the mountains, the prairie, okay, the forest, whatever they came across. So it was a challenge for them to travel. And remember, back then you didn't have a lot of shoes. So a lot of children wore nothing. They wore their bare feet. I don't know about you, but I'm a wimp when it comes to my feet. I want something on my feet. So I don't know if I would have been able to handle it. Uh, but guess what? They had no choice. They did what they needed to do. And not only was it the long walking, but they had all their possessions in that covered wagon. So if they couldn't fit it in that covered wagon, then they weren't bringing it out west. They also had attacks. They also had disease. They also had hunger. And just think, they didn't have roads. So all of a sudden, their wagon trains could go up against a canyon, and then what would you do? There's no way you could cross it. There were no bridges. So if you looked at the picture before this video, you saw the Rocky Mountains. We live right by the Rocky Mountains. We are blessed that we have roads going through the Rocky Mountains. But just think back over 200 years ago, 100 more than 100 years ago, so around 200 years ago, that when they traveled just by going through. They didn't have really any trails until some trails were set. So, especially my skiers out there, the next time you ride through the Rocky Mountains, think about what it would be like to be traveling through with a covered wagon, walking through that, horseback even. I mean, it was a slow go. So watch the video and then click on the form, answer what you learned about westward migration, and just think about the people that came before us. Enjoy.